Okay, I want to welcome you to the introduction to the Forex Master Pattern and Basic Strategy. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's a super important subject. What I'm going to share with you today is literally the backbone of our methodology. It's what our software is built around. So I want you to pay close attention. You're going to get a lot out of what we got to discuss today on this. So with that being said, let's get right into it. In this lesson, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn what the Forex Master Pattern is and how to identify it on any chart. It's on any time frame. You'll be able to see this. You're going to learn how all movement in Forex can be understood through this one single pattern. You're going to learn how this pattern's normally hidden from the masses. All the other education, all the indicators out there, they dilute this pattern. You're going to learn how to see through all that noise so you can see the truth of the market. You're going to learn why this simple pattern is so consistent and effective. You're going to learn how to use this pattern to create an extremely effective trading plan, which is the end goal. I'm going to give you some information today. It's going to be very clear, cut and dry, and you'll be able to take this information and actually put it into practice right away. So, what is the Forex Master Pattern? Here it is. This is the Forex Master Pattern, which is actually three market phases or three different phases of price activity or price action. Phase number one, you can see right here, is what we call contraction. This is the tightening of the market. Phase number two is what we call expansion. It's when it leaves the contraction phase. And then phase number three is the profit taking or trend phase. So this is kind of a broad stroke overview of what the master pattern is. But I'm going to break it down for you, and we're going to get, really nitty gritty into the mechanics of this so that you can really understand why this seemingly basic pattern, it is a basic pattern, but why this is so important for you to understand as a trader. So one thing I want to touch on that I said before is that traditional indicators and technical analysis mask this pattern. We take a look, this is a screenshot from a chart. And, people are going to use moving averages, they're going to use oscillators and fractals, whatever you want to use. They're just a bunch of statistical-based technical indicators. The pattern that we're talking about, the master pattern, when you're using these indicators, especially too many of them, you cannot see what I'm going to teach you. So a part of getting into this process and really understanding this is going to be deleting all this stuff off of your chart. You're going to want to get to clean charts where you can actually see price action, and then you can start mapping out what I'm going to show you. So that's going to be a big change for a lot of people. Some people feel naked without their indicators, but I'm going to tell you, if you actually do it, it's going to be one of the most liberating things that you'll ever do. And you're going to feel amazing once you get into what I'm going to teach you today. Okay, so just to kind of emphasize a little bit more about the importance of what we're talking about today, why is understanding this pattern so important? This pattern is always happening. 100% of the time, this pattern is unfolding, okay? All the time. Your trading is going to be influenced by this, whether you know it or not. Whether you listen to what I say today or you don't, this will be happening, and this will cause influence on your trading decisions. So it's better to understand what is unfolding. This is observable on all time frames. So if you say, well, I'm not subject to the patterns of a day trader or whatever, that doesn't matter. This happens on the weekly, the monthly charts. It does not matter. So understanding what I'm going to teach you today will help you regardless of the time frame that you trade. Most importantly, or one of the more important things, is this gives you an exact trading plan that never changes. Once you understand how the markets really move and what's behind it, then you can make decisions with that, and that becomes your strategy. You no longer have to tweak indicators or come up with systems. This is the system. It's the system of the market. So once you learn this, you just flow with what the market gives you. Big thing to think about is that 90% of traders lose money because they do not understand this, in my opinion. If so many lose, who's taking their money? Okay? While all those traders are creating their strategies and tweaking their indicators and everything, and they're 90% of them are losing, over 90%, where's all that money going to? I'm telling you, it's going to go to the smart money traders who understand what I'm talking about. So, like I said, these three phases are happening all the time. Whether you understand them or not, they are playing out, and every single candle can be classified as in falling into the category of one of these three phases. What you see right here, this is a screenshot taken from MetaTrader 4. I think it's a dollar CAD. And we color coordinated all the candles just to be blue. And I'm going to switch it in a second. So right now it just looks like just flowing price action with those candles. I'm going to switch it over. And now you're going to see 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to see blue, red, and green candles. Okay? The blue are going to represent your contraction phase. The red, your expansion phase. And 3 is going to be your trending phase. Okay? As you can see, there's not one candle out on this whole chart that couldn't be classified as in one of these three phases. By you learning to find these three phases, starting with number 1, that is the setup of the market, and then when you accurately identify that contraction phase, you can expect that you're going to get the expansion phase after that. This is where a lot of traders lose a lot of their money that they get out of the trends. So you're going to look for that contraction. You're going to find the expansion. That's going to be kind of the trigger for you to get ready, and then you're going to trade in that trend. So what my goal I'm going to teach you a methodology of how to really interact with this on a hugely accurate way. But my goal is to get you to only trade in the third stage. That's where you're going to get all of your consistent paydays. That's where you're going to make your money. That's where you're going to book your profits. And I want you to stay out of 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is where you're going to give back everything that you made with interest. So that's our number 1 goal, is stay out of 1 and 2 and trade number 3. Okay? So, but this illustrates the three market phases are always happening. They can always be classified as in one of those phases, and it's up to you to read those accurately so that you can have a correct expectation of what is happening or what's coming up next in the market, and you can time it that way. Before we move on, I need you to understand this concept, because this is one of the underlying things behind what makes our methodology tick, what